Smokin' Poetry podcast is back at Ultra Flat Black. I am here with Blaire, and we are learning about how to use my phone. What just happened? I'm just going to have you explain what happened.
So we're getting ready to record, and then it just starts flicking. So I think it was taking pictures, but I was explaining, like, if you have a newer iPhone, sometimes you do hand motions, it reacts to it and it'll do stuff. So new iPhones.
So it's all about experiences here.
Yep.
And that's why we have Blaire. Blaire, and you call yourself a human experience.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So a human experience is pretty much life, the things that humans go through. I believe that we get so lost in personal experiences and not realizing we're all humans and we all go through similar experiences. So when I say my name is Blaire and here's my human experience or here's a human experience, it's more for people to relate that we all going to kind of go through these similar emotions and things.
And I guess what you're obviously most famous for is the music.
Yes. Yes.
What goes into the music?
Everything. Most of my music when I've written has been poetry. I've always been a writer in the sense of poetry because I just like to spit my guts out on the page. And then my mom was like, well, you sing, so why don't you start taking that and like sing it? And I was like, well, I'm not trying to be a singer, I just kind of use this as therapy. And then I started to like, you know what, maybe I should sing it. So one of my first songs that I ever wrote was called Fly Away. And I let one person hear it and it was like, this is great, you should just go into music. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do it, but I did it anyway. So here we are now, years later, creating albums and creating memories and creating good music.
I notice a lot of the time music includes basically the words are poetry, mm-hmm. but sometimes the music can almost, cover up mm-hmm. or the words. What do you think is like the difference of performing, of like just reading a poem versus a song, and how you do things?
I think when you have poetry, you have to use your voice more to invoke emotion. And when you put music behind it, now you can use the music to invoke that emotion. Being in a different key, or having more diminished chords in your music can invoke like sadness or joy, whether it's a poppy song. And sometimes you can have real upbeat music, but the lyrics are really sad, but people are still moving to it and they don't even realize how sad the music is. Yeah.
And I notice I have done that a lot with my poetry when I try to practice the hard ones. Mm-hmm. I find a poppy music song because I don't want to just say, let me tell you these horrible, horrible things.
Right.
But if you have that,
that nice
how does
balance.
that... what is your kind of like process of writing and music and how you put things together?
Sometimes it depends. I could be driving in my car and all of a sudden just words will come to me. I'm like, I need to write that down. I need to voice memo that. And then sometimes I'll hear something. I'm like, I want to write to that. Because it invoked this type of like emotion sometimes I want to rap and I'm not a rapper. I'm like, I want to spit some bars to this. Because this invoked something in me to like want to write. Music it happens. It's never like today I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a song for me. It's never worked that way. It's never worked out for me to do that way. I feel like that puts so much pressure on me to like, hey, go in here and write this song. Like, that's not how I work. I have to be inspired by what's around me.
And that part I relate to. Because I noticed, and one thing I love is hearing different people who have different ways. And like some people talk about they have an assignment. Mm-hmm. But like with me, and it sounds like with you, is if you tell me here's an assignment, do this, I'm not going to do a very good job. Mm-mm. But it just comes. Is that how it is? Like, you see something? And...
Yep. Exactly that. I've had somebody write down, like, no, I want you to write a song about this. And I'm like, okay. And I've written that song. And it's so structured and so overthought and so many words that now it doesn't even feel like a song anymore. And now I have to have somebody come in and deconstruct all the stuff that I wrote. Instead of them like, no, I'm going to put a track on and I want you to just feel it. I'm like, all right, I can just feel it. Let me just spit and then we'll take what we get from that. and then we can come up with a concept, and then we can build off that concept. I love when a producer or an engineer is like, nope, let's build off a concept. What happened to you today? Yeah. Oh man, this happened. Okay, let's write a song about it. Oh yes, let's write a song about it. It helps invoke me to write.
I also notice that I can't really put a one genre on you, which is one thing I love, that you have multiple influences, and what goes into your music. Like, what are your influences that?
Oh man, I'm from a musical family. My mother sings, my father sings, my stepfather sings. They all play instruments, and my mother hated the hip hop station. Absolutely couldn't stand it. So I would sneak. I had a friend who used to make bootleg. Don't bootleg anything. I'm probably showing my age, but my friend used to bootleg CDs for me, and she'd slide me the CD and be like, here's a CD and some hip hop music. So that's how I get my hip hop influence. But my mom listened to the Top 100. And if you ever know Billboard 100, they play everything. That's from pop to hip hop to rock music to bluegrass. And then I was very heavily influenced in the church. So that influenced my music. So I kind of just embodied everything. As far as artists who really influenced my vocals would be like Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, Norah Jones, who else? I can't even think of her name right now.
You don't have to name everyone.
I know, but these are like some big influences, but like Red Hot Chili Peppers and like just so many good music, so many good artists, so much good music that I just was brought up into. And I'm from New Orleans, so jazz, it's been a heavy influence in my vocals and my music. Mm-hmm. So bringing it all together, just it helped,
For those of us who have not been to New Orleans, what is it like growing up there as far as the influences? And
it's a port city, so we have every walk of life come in and out. I didn't really know racism when I lived there. I didn't really have colorism like that. It was very like we all are a melting pot in New Orleans. Like New Orleans is like a little America. Mm-hmm. Everybody's there, from French to Jamaican to Italian and Spanish. Like we're just a big melting pot. So much cultural influences there. That's why so much music from there is just so creative.
And I notice a lot of people probably don't understand how diverse New Orleans is compared to probably the rest of the state. Right. Because it's the deep south.
It's the deep south, yeah.
Is it completely different in other parts of Louisiana?
Yes, it is. So there's those, what is it called, sundown towns? Mm-hmm. You don't go there when the sun is down.
And what does that mean?
There's people who look like me who don't go to towns that's called sundown towns because they do not like people like me. And it's mostly in northern Louisiana and like little towns in Louisiana that's like that. But New Orleans is like, nope, everybody knows everybody, everybody loves everybody. And there's no issues in that.
Yeah. And have there been bad experiences that you've gone through outside?
I don't. If I had to pinpoint something like in Louisiana, like I've never ventured out so far in Louisiana to have experienced anything bad. I lived in Texas for an amount of years, and even when I was in Texas, I was in Houston, so predominantly everybody there is very cultural too. And then I lived in Dallas, and everybody in Dallas is very like opening and warming. So I've never experienced anything that made me feel uncomfortable. Even when I moved here, I didn't feel anything uncomfortable.
And what is it like coming to Colorado Springs compared to how many places have you lived now?
So coming from Louisiana to Texas and then here was big culture shock. big culture shock because music, every place you went was bluegrass, or every place you went was a rock band show, or you didn't really see a lot of hip hop or R&B places unless you were in Denver. Mm-hmm. And it were very like you had to know that person to know where to go to those spots. So for the first few years I was here, I didn't really do a lot of music. I did a lot of like Christian music and church music because that's pretty much what I was dropped into. And we're very conservative here in the Springs. So it was like, okay, so where do I go if I want to do this kind of music? Who do I talk to? it took some years for me to find somebody who was engineering and doing music. He's featured on one of my songs, actually.
Oh, who's that?
His name is Seven.
Oh, I've heard of him.
He's pretty dope.
He's been on the show. He's amazing. He's an amazing musician.
He is super
and beyond the music, he's doing some good stuff.
Yes, he got his own band now called Moonville. Check them out. They're fire. They just dropped a music video. Love everything that they're doing together. But he was the person I met, and he was like, no, I love what you're doing. Let's do it. So my first 2 albums, he helped engineer and produce.
The song that I am going to perform for you guys today is called Pretty Face Girls. As I mentioned, Seven was one of the main people who helped me produce my first 2 EPs, and this is one of the ones he helped produce. So it's called Pretty Face Girls. Here we go.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, we're back. So we've been talking a lot about religious background.
Yeah.
And we just had a nice little song about romantic love
Yeah.
for another woman.
Yes.
And you're married?
I am married. We've been together for 4 years, working on 4 years, and been married now. I'm working on the 2nd year of marriage. Mm-hmm. So happily married. Love my wife. She's amazing. Shout out to Nicole, Nikki C. She's also a podcaster. Super fire. Love our marriage. Love everything about it. We haven't had any difficulty, but I know there's a lot of difficulty out in the world for people like me, who are LGBT and also religious or Christian or whatever title you want to put on yourself. But I've always had a very positive experience in my family with that. They've always respected me and my partner. So,
we often talk about all the negative experiences that people have had and what we've done to overcome things, but at the same time, there are some nice experiences out there, and sometimes things happen the way they should.
As they should, yeah.
Would you like to tell people about your experience with that and how your family and religion and how everything has been okay, I guess.
Yeah. So like I said before, I grew up in the church. So I think that kind of made the biggest difference. When you grow up in it and you've been in it, and they know the Lord is in you, and they know that you pray, and they know they've done everything that they should possibly have done, that there was no outside influences that made this happen. It was more of, I don't want you out here, excuse my language, being a hoe. That's pretty much what it was. They was like, are you like those girls going wild that's just kissing girls to be kissing girls? And I was like, no, I actually want a full monogamous relationship with the woman. I have no attraction for men. So I don't know what you want me to do. And it took a while for my mom. She had to really pray about it a lot, but eventually she's my biggest supporter. She loves my music. She promotes it to everybody. She's like, your music is radio ready. I want you to be famous. My dad has his doctorate in theology and studied the Bible, studied religion. He is a pastor and has accepted me fully for who I am. He just, again, he said, don't be out here whoring around. Be monogamous. Wait till marriage to have a relationship. So I did. And I was celibate for 5 years after I had that coming to Jesus moment, per se. And from that point, it's just been up. I've gone to, there's several affirming churches out here in Colorado Springs, which was surprising to find out. But there's a few of them out here that are open and affirming that are like, no, we accept you, please come. We don't have, we're not here for that. We want you to just know God. So I preach that a lot on my platform.
And that's very an interesting thing to know. Is there anything in particular you would recommend or give a shout out to? Or?
Shout out to First United Methodist Church. It's a church that I currently play guitar for and sing at. And they are a beautiful congregation of people. They are very open and affirming. And Sanctuary, right here in OCC, is open and affirming as well. And they are on fire for God, let me tell you. And they don't care what your background is. They accept everybody because that's what Jesus did. So they're pretty dope too.
Yeah, there are, I don't know if anyone from other parts of the country are going to see this show, but
right.
There are people in other parts of the country where
Yes.
there may not be such affirming churches and people. And anything that you would say to people who are struggling with the questions of religion and their sexuality?
There's nowhere in the Bible that God said he hated you. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, God never said he hated you at all. He didn't say you weren't welcome. He never said that you were an abomination. He never said any of those things. That was written by man. It was people who said those things. God has always come in with love. Jesus, not once during his ministry, said anything about the LGBT community. So if you keep that in mind, he's always preached love and opened the table for you to sit at. So always keep that in your heart. Like, there's this book, if you need this, it's called Jesus Save Us From Your Followers. It's a very interesting book, but the book, it hit me very hard. It was like, no, Jesus didn't say he hated me. Y'all over here talking hate. He only preached love. So love that person, hold them accountable for sure in what they're doing, but it should always be in love.
I don't know how to come out of love and talk, but the other thing I want to ask you about was space.
Yeah.
You have these beautiful pictures on your albums, and I think we may both maybe share an inner nerdy part of ourselves.
Yes.
What do you?
So for me, space. When I was growing up, real young, I thought I wanted to be an astronomer. I thought this was, Then I found out that, black hole might suck us all in. So I was like, nope, I don't want to know anything about any of that. I just want to live in oblivion. I don't want to know that. But I've always still had the fascination with space. When I first moved here, I had a nervous breakdown and decided to go to therapy. And my therapist wrote on a sticky note for me, you deserve space and boundaries. And it hit me to my core. And the only thing that I could imagine that was even the amount of boundaries that I needed to set up and the amount of space that I needed was to literally get off this planet and go into space. So anytime you see the cover and you see the astronaut, that is me. And when you see me sitting on the edge on Deep Space, the album cover, that's me sitting in my space and being in my space and like pushing that away. So I'm giving myself those boundaries that I need. And then the other one, you see me detached from the cord and I'm just floating in space. Because that first album EP was, I need space. I just need to breathe and like be who I want to be and be who I am and be comfortable in that bubble. So yeah, anytime you see an astronaut, that's me. Anytime I post an astronaut, it's me. And I'm just exploring my human experiences.
You know, I am so glad you told that story. I feel like I got to share a little thing.
Yeah.
When I went to therapy and, you know, I did the hypnosis and go to your happy place, my place was space. I went to, I'm going to orbit Saturn.
Yep. Just floating around.
That's, so, and I just think it's great that we have obviously very different backgrounds, but we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Got to remember to reverse the angle of the camera for the music. So so we're gonna do another little song. And,
yes, we are. This song is called "Floating," and it's actually featuring Seven. Yes. So you'll get to hear him spit a little bit on this track. But we called it "Floating" because we were sitting in the studio, and I'm like, dude, actually at his house. Let me be honest. We were up here at his house, like making it work. And I was like, dude, man, this is some bullshit. And he was like, man, this is a song. I was like, floating over the bullshit? It's like, yeah, let's do that. And I found this track, and so here's Floating.
Have the lyrics of "If You Want to Find You."
Yes.
So how do we find you?
So you can find me. You can find me on Instagram at Blaire.ahe. You can find me on Facebook with the same name. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. I am on all streaming platforms.
And if we want to see you live and in person,
Ooh.
what are your plans?
Okay, so next year my plans are to curate 5 big shows. I'm not doing a bunch of little shows this year. It's going to be 5 big concerts that I'm going to choose 5 local venues. 3 local venues and 2 venues, 1 in Dallas and 1 in Houston. Hopefully in Houston I get to go back to my alma mater, which was Texas Southern University, where Megan Thee Stallion graduated from, to do homecoming. I want to do a homecoming performance at my alma mater. That'd be fire. So
Now, I would imagine that's got to be a different kind of pressure than a normal concert.
Yeah.
What is, like, how do you go about doing a performance where you basically obviously want to keep it clean, for one. Like, what's the differences?
So for a college show, especially for the campus that I came off of, it's really just pulling out cuss words because you're curating to a bigger audience. You might have kids there. Typically, most of my music doesn't have a lot of profanity in it. I have like 3 songs that have a little bit of profanity in it, which is easy to block out if I need to. But my plan was to do one of my songs opening up for the band, because I used to be in marching band in college. I marched with the Ocean and Soul. Shout out to the Ocean and Soul. And they do a full-on field show. And if I could do one of my songs and have the band play the song, my marching band play the song while I'm singing full concert with them, would be amazing for homecoming. So that's the plan, to finish off the 5 shows and finish the last show in Houston.
That sounds like a wonderful dream. Yeah, that would be so much fun. As far as what you already have produced and what is going to be produced, what kind of music do you already, that we haven't heard with the last 2 songs, what other kind of stuff do you have out there? And
man. So right now I am working on my 23 album project. It is going to be 23 songs.
That's a big album.
Yeah, this is a big girl album. Currently, because I have 2 EPs out, those 2 EPs, from there I'm going to pick a few songs to go onto this album, but there'll be a lot of new stuff that is unreleased that I've been cooking. If you catch me at some of my live performances, you've heard some of these unreleased songs. And you've heard my newest single, which was Girl Next Door, which is my summer track. I'm kind of keeping a little mellow for the podcast today, make sure we can, kind of chill. It's November, kid chill vibes, Yeah. But if you want to check out that new single, that's already out. But that album that I'm working on, it's gonna pour out my soul. This is one of my biggest projects. It is gonna be probably one of the deepest things I've ever written to date. So be looking out for that. It's gonna be good.
Speaking of deep, my favorite song of yours is "It's All About You." Yeah, I love that. Although I'm not sure if I'm on the giving end or receiving end of that song, but nonetheless, I love it.
Thank you. I actually was gonna perform that one for you today too, because I noticed you like this. I was like, I'm gonna perform for him. Got him.
Yeah, that has. Well. Should we go into it now?
We can.
Why not? Well, I'll think of questions while you're doing the song. So this next song, as we're trying to get this microphone to work here, this next song has a bit of a story.
Yes, so Always Been About You. Before moving out here in 2015, I was getting out of a very toxic relationship, and it was always about her, always what she wanted, and I became this shell of a person. I had to pretend to be something that I wasn't. Our relationship was hidden from everybody. Nobody knew we were together. I was tiptoeing around family members, getting invited to parties, and I had to pretend like we were just friends. So when I open up with this song every time, I'm like, if you're in a toxic relationship, if you're in an abusive relationship, get out of it. If it's always about them, if they never look out for you or never try to do for you, get out of it, because it's not worth it. So, without further ado, let me get my phone back right. Here we go. This a little closer. I actually played the guitar on this song, so.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, well, it is really good. I noticed you put your passion into your music. You're not just singing. Do you feel like you're kind of like get lost in the music, so to speak?
Yes, I do. I used to have this habit. I would be on stage, especially in my church. I'd be on stage and be singing the song, and then one of the ladies came up to me after. She's like, "It's like you're just singing to yourself. You're singing and singing to yourself." I was like, "Is that a bad thing?" She's like, "No, because I feel it. I want to be up there with you. I want to be involved with you." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, make eye contact." So I had to learn to make eye contact.
Does the microphone kind of feel empowering in a way? Like,
yes. Being a kid who grew up like in that generation of be seen and not heard. Mm-hmm. As soon as I get on the stage, I'm a different person. I am Blaire. I embody Blaire. Like, it is me, and I'm like, no, this is my stage. I'm gonna take this stage. I need to take up space. Mm-hmm. And I say this to all my artist friends who are like newly getting used to being on the stage. Your stage presence is everything. It's your stage. Own it. This is your time to shine. Mm-hmm. And when you get off, you can be quiet again. But when you're on here, you better be loud and vocal and own it.
yeah, and with me, I'm like the most neurotic person in the world, as you've noticed. But for some reason, once I get on the stage with the microphone, it's like my superpower. It's like now I can do anything and you have to listen to my nonsense. And it's just like a different person. And I feel like I'm still being myself, maybe in a way being more myself.
Yes.
Is that
Exactly
with
how
you?
I feel. So my stage name is my middle name. So it never takes away from who I actually am. I get to be loud. I get to sing. I get to talk. And now you have to listen to me because I'm on the stage. You can't tell me no. I'm here already. I'm taking over.
And when people love it, it's just that much
It's
better.
just, because now I get to empower everybody down there.
Yeah.
Like who's not on the stage. Now I can empower you. Now I can invite you on the stage with me. And that's just even more fun.
And how does that feel when people in the audience come and talk to you?
Oh, it's so awesome. I don't even know how to react. I'm so shy when I get off the stage. I'm like, she's so shy. Like, oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you. Like, I'm still getting used to compliments. I'm still getting used to people being like, you sound great. And I'm like, oh, yay, thank you. I was in a whole other body while I was out there.
That's another thing I appreciate because I am terrible at taking compliments. I have probably had people say nice things to me and have me do some not so nice remark just subconsciously because I just can't process that I'm, what, you like this?
You like what I'm doing? Oh, okay. I was just, expressing myself and getting my emotions out. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But it is nice. So and if I ever have not shown enough appreciation to someone appreciating me.
Know that I appreciate it. I love every single person that does say you did amazing or you're doing a great job. Like it helps me get better at accepting it.
We can finish each other's sentences. But anyways, speaking of wonderful, beautiful things, I would like to talk a little bit about what's behind us. Who are we? We have some different artists out for November. Who is it? How many different artists are?
There's 3 artists on the wall. All right, so we have LeVay Reed right over here. All these are made with colored pencil, if you believe it or not. Super, super cool artwork. Right here we have Maniac Designs. He actually did this piece on our ceiling as well. He's been in the gallery a couple times.
Never get the ceiling.
The ceiling, yeah.
The ceiling.
And then right over here we have Cold Digit with some crazy, crazy references.
Speaking of references, when the camera was off, Blaire just had all the references down pat.
Yeah,
what are these references?
So I grew up watching this. So this is from Boys in the Hood, or no, shoot.
I think it is Boys in the Hood.
Is it Boys in the Hood?
I think so.
Okay.
We keep talking about it. So
Yes, so this one is, so these guys, they all realize they're dead, and this guy starts telling scary stories about different things that happened in Black history come to life. And throughout the whole entire thing, they end up getting killed towards the end of it. But it's a really good scary movie. It's Black Caulfield. So good. And then this one over here is from the movie Get Out, which is by Jordan Peele. Such an amazing movie, such an amazing concept to the
I know
movie.
that one by LeVay Reed is that's the original Candyman.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the original Candyman, and they came out with the newer version of it to give homage to this movie.
Yeah.
And it was so good. So I grew up watching every single one of these movies, and amazing for the culture.
What was the ones over here?
Candyman. So this is Candyman, the original Candyman. This lady was trying to help this baby not get killed by this man, but it was a bad hiccup. So he was killed by cops mistakenly because they thought he was giving kids candies with razor blades in it, but he wasn't. Somebody else was doing it, but they killed him by mistake. And it was in the projects during the time, and he hated that this happened. So anytime you looked in the mirror and you would say his name 3 times, he would come after you. So it became this like urban legend. So even now to this day, like Bloody Mary is an urban legend. Candyman is also an urban legend. Don't say his name 3 times.
So if you need an art presenter, multiple things Blaire can handle.
That part, I'm here for it. I used to actually work in a museum. That's what's funny.
Oh, what was that like working in the museum?
I worked at a fine arts museum in Houston. I was a security guard without a gun. So I would just yell at people, "Don't you touch it! You better get away from the artwork." Nope. Don't cross the line. I'm watching you. But that was mostly what I did all the time there. But I loved the artwork that we had at the Houston Fine Arts Museum.
So what if someone got like really out of hand, like one of these protesters or like destroy art or something?
Luckily, I didn't have to deal with a lot of those people, but we did have the security where I would call and be like, hey, I got some real people up here. I need you to come up because I don't have weapons. I got a stick. Can you come help me? So I was the stick person.
Oh, we should have you do a stick demonstration how to beat someone down.
Get out of it. Don't touch it. There's multiple poker. Get out of the way.
I know the real reason you wanted to come on the show. You were just dying to tell the world about your thoughts.
Oh, gosh.
On, as you call him,
The diddler.
But actually, there's a very serious part
It's
at
a
the end
very
of this
serious-
about a message we have. But what do
Yes.
you? I just let you go.
with the climate of music right now, if you are an independent artist and you don't have your music streaming on anything, shoot, even SoundCloud at this point, start doing it. Put the money aside to start getting your music out. With this whole P. Diddy scandal going on, there are so many mainstream artists whose name has popped up in these cases that people don't know what to listen to anymore. So this is your opportunity to get your music out there, to get people on your roster, to like get people as a fan right now. If you don't have your socials build your social media. If you don't have an EPK, check out Makoni. You can follow his page on Instagram and he can make you an EPK. That's an electronic press kit. So you have videos, you have all your stuff in one spot so that people can find you. This is the time is now as an independent artist to get your music out there. People are begging for good music, new music, fresh sounds from everywhere. So let's put Colorado Springs on the map. Let's put Colorado on the map, you guys. Let's do this.
Yeah, and another point you had made is that people are frankly getting tired of being disappointed by heroes.
Yeah.
And these so-called famous people who are supposed to be so great, but I mean, you don't know anything about someone just because they're
that.
But the local people you can know personally.
You can know them. You can follow them. You can come and support them. We don't make money that way. Like artists, we can stream music. We don't make a lot of money from streams. You can do tours. That's not always guaranteed. We make money off of our swag and you guys purchasing tickets for shows that we put on. That's how we make money. And if you want to support your local Colorado artists, even if you don't listen to hip hop music, buy their ticket.
And one thing I think that's another good segue, because sometimes I have not necessarily been into a particular type of music or artist, but when you see them live and in person, it's so different than hearing it on the radio, and it's hard not to be taken up with the good vibes that you get when you go to one of these local shows.
Exactly.
Now, the other thing we were just talking about is, when you don't know these people who we think are great, and then you have these horrible scandals. I mean, I can't get over Bill Cosby still.
That poor man.
And now this.
And now there's more information coming out that maybe Bill Cosby was also a part of the P. Diddy stuff, and he either was the reason why all this stuff happened to him was because P. Diddy had videos of him doing stuff, and it's messy, okay? It's messy.
Yeah.
All of it is messy. So like I said, if you are an independent artist, get your music out now. If you're looking for a studio or somewhere you can feel safe and do your music, Anthem Music Enterprises is a local studio here in Colorado. The mayor vouches for them to go and do music with them. So if you need a safe space and you want to put music out there, Anthem Music Enterprises, that's where I record my music. They were bringing in so many new artists right now. It is a beautiful place. I suggest you get out there and start doing it.
Now, what about other instruments that you've been messing around with? You've been talking about a little bit.
Oh, okay. So my primary instrument, a lot of people don't know this, is trumpet.
Really?
I did marching band from middle school all the way up into college. And I still have a trumpet at home right now. On the song Pretty Face Girls that I perform, I played trumpet on that actual piece. So if you hear the trumpet in it, it's me playing it. And then I also play guitar and I play bass. I am self-taught bass and guitar, and trumpet I learned in school, but when it came to just like improvising and playing by ear, I taught myself how to do that as well.
And I'm trying to remember what my other question was. Oh, collabs.
Yes.
Yes. So you also, this will be where we restart. You've been doing a lot of collaborations with different artists. So what is like the difference of, as opposed to having a group or like a band versus doing collabs?
So a collaboration is, it typically, you have a few forms of doing it. An artist can come to you and say, hey, what are your rates? Where they pay you to come on their track and you either write a verse, write a chorus for them or a hook, or they already have it all written, they just need you to sing it. Or sometimes they be like, well, I have a talent, like I'm a beat maker, or I'm also a writer, or I also like have a song that I might want you to be on, or something like that, where we can like collaborate. Some of it doesn't even involve money. Some of it is just like, hey, you have a talent, I have a talent. Can we just get together and work it out real quick and do something real quick, and maybe we can make something out of it. So it depends on you as an artist. Me, I have a rate sheet. So if somebody wants to collaborate with me, it kind of depends on your financial situation. If they come to me like, hey, I really like working with you, like, can we just collab? I really don't have the funds, but I know how to make beats. Or, hey, next time you have a song you need somebody to feature on, I can hop on that for you. I'm like, all right, cool. But if they have the funds, usually my rates are like $200 to $250 to write a verse or do a hook for somebody. But collaboration is just really up to that person and what they want to do. I've collaborated with so many people for free, some people for a profit. It kind of just depends.
Is that a rewarding thing to do?
Yes, because when you see the project finished, it's amazing. I collaborated with this guy. His name is Big T. He's out of Washington. Amazing guy. He wanted me to do the hook for one of his songs. So I did the hook, got it all recorded and everything like that. He was like, hey, can I make you a beat? And I was like, yes, you can. You don't even have to pay me a whole bunch of money. Like, you can make a beat, and if you can help me with this project. So now he's collaborating with me on my underground mixtapes that I'm working on. But that's one of the ways I can collaborate with people.
But for people who maybe aren't familiar with all the music terms, when you say hook and beat, what would be the differences of those?
So a hook is the catchiest part of the song.
Like the chorus, kind of.
The chorus or the hook. So it's the part that hooks you. Sometimes a hook can lead into a chorus. So like one of my songs for like, whoa, 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 that's the part that catches you. But the chorus is, I'm not just saying this 'cause I'm high, but I love to see you walk by. You got me like, that's the chorus. And then I have that hook that's whoa, 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 whoa. So that's how you can tell the difference between those things. And then as far as the beat, somebody who's an engineer, they can be a beat maker. So they can make you a track. So the music in the background, all the like the drums, the guitars, the keys, that's, and all that correlating makes the beat, our track.
What else do you want people to know about you? What do you do with your life when you're not making music and performing? Do you have a day job and all that?
So currently I'm a full-time artist. I do work at a church. Every Sunday I sing at church. We go to have every Sunday I sing at church, and I get paid for that. And then outside of that, me and my younger brother are opening up a bistro because I am a chef on my daytime.
From New Orleans, what do you cook?
Oh God, everything. I cook everything. My favorite cuisine by far is, outside of my Creole background, it's Italian food. I love Italian food. I love pasta. I love the spices. I love the proteins. Everything about it. Making pasta from scratch. Sauces. So good.
And a slight transition from food, there was something you had mentioned your wife has been involved with that might be a good thing to talk to people about.
Yes, so she has her own podcast called Tea and Testimony. And it is for anybody who's like a baby Christian or a baby believer. And pretty much her podcast is for those who are lost and need to be found. If you are an LGBT person and you don't know what church to go to or a safe place to go to, her podcast is curated for you to feel safe, to also get the word and talk about your sexuality and talk about what you go through. She also has an Instagram page called Nikki Chandler 719. You can check that out. She's pretty awesome. Love her so much. Shout out to my baby.
And is that podcast, where is that available?
Oh, it's on Apple Podcasts. She also on Spotify, and you can catch her YouTube channel with Nikki Chandler 719.
Anything else you want to talk about before we sing some more music?
Scratching my chin.
Can you tell us the meaning of life?
Oh my God, no. I wish I could. The meaning of life, no. But I will leave with this. Enjoy all of your human experiences. Even the good ones, even the bad ones. Enjoy all of it. And find peace in all of it, find a lesson in all of it. And don't give up on your dreams. Even if they're outrageous, don't give up on them. Because we have artists right now who are in the industry who just made it and they're in their 40s. There's a lady who just went to Juilliard who's 50-something years old and just got accepted into Juilliard. So do not ever give up on your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you that you're too old for them. It's ridiculous. Keep going. Never stop.
That makes me feel good as an old guy. So, well, thank you so much. So we're going to do a little closeout song here.
Yes. The one I was kind of spitting to y'all a little bit, that whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm going to sing it for you.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get ready for the closeout here.
Yeah.
Recording now.
All right. So this last song I'm gonna perform is called "Whoa." This one was a fun little ditty. It's fall, you know. People like to cruise and drive around, so you smoke and you want to cruise. This is a good song for that. So it's called "Whoa."
So loud.
Well, that was a beautiful experience.
Thank you. I had a beautiful experience with you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you to the Ultra Flat Black. This is the place. So yeah.
I say thank you guys.
And
for
thank
having
you
us.
we got to shout out to Tony, the best bartender in the universe.
Yes.
That's how I'm just going straight for the top. Going
Let's break the universe.
going straight for the top.
I'll allow it.
So we have so many amazing events here. Always Tuesday open mic, and check out their Instagram and Facebook, and check out us, and check out Blaire. And we will see you next time on Smoking Poetry Podcast.
I was incredible.